Well, howdy there, folks. Last month, I had my awesome Patreon supporters do something called Viewer's Choice, where they helped me decide what movie I was going to review next. And overwhelmingly, by a landslide, the winner was The Ambulance. So, let's talk about this. You'll be in perfect health before you die.
Eric Roberts, James Earl Jones, The Ambulance.
I promise you're gonna be in perfect health before you die.
Apparently, you guys really wanted to see James Earl Jones and Eric Roberts' hair fight an evil ambulance. And I'll tell you what, you made the right choice. Kind of funny story about this. I ordered this movie a long time ago, and I got it off of Amazon. And when I did, the very next day, there was a knock on my door, and the person who was selling this apparently lived in the same town that I did, and I wasn't even paying attention to where they lived when I ordered it. It just happened to be the best price for the VHS. And they decided to hand deliver it to me personally. So apparently they were so anxious to give me The Ambulance that they went to my door and handed it to me. And so now I have this wonderful movie. I hadn't seen this movie before doing Viewer's Choice. Basically, I picked 3 movies that I thought looked really funny, and the descriptions were really entertaining, and just hoped that they would be good. And I was pleasantly surprised to find that The Ambulance was not only an entertaining, funny ride, but it is actually a legitimately good action comedy.
I want some spare change.
So let's do a rundown of The Ambulance. It's a weird movie. Eric Roberts' character, Joshua, has been watching this woman for weeks now that he does not know. He just sees her eating lunch every day and has apparently just been watching her creepily. So he decides, while he's talking to, I don't know, his stunt double that day, that he's going to go talk to her. And said character that he was speaking to is never seen in the movie again. I don't know who he was. She is suddenly sick, and she gets picked up by an ambulance. Dun dun dun. All he gets from her is her first name and that she's a diabetic. And so when he goes to the hospital to try and see her, she's not there. And he doesn't know where she disappeared to. Spooky goings on.
And don't forget your roses. Call coming again?
They're for you.
In a bizarre quirk of this movie, Eric Roberts' character is a comic book artist working for Marvel. And I don't know how Marvel got involved with this. I don't know why Marvel was involved with this. Stan Lee plays his boss directly, as if that's how it works at Marvel.
I got a girl in the hospital.
The hospital?
Yeah.
Personally, I like mine healthy, but, well, go ahead, to each his own.
And he's playing himself, and it's not just a little cameo, he's got a couple scenes, and he's not a bad actor at all. It's just kind of baffling that this was included at all. The movie really has nothing to do with comics or superheroes or anything like that. There doesn't really seem to be a purpose for Eric Roberts being a comic book artist other than he draws pictures in the movie. But they're comic book pictures, so he'll present these as like evidence of the girl that went missing or the ambulance that he saw, and people act like they're a lot more realistic than they are.
Lose something, Josh?
Her.
Wow, that's some loss.
For instance, at one point, he's walking around holding out flyers of the sketch he has made of this woman. Like, have you seen her? Have you seen her? Until he is having lunch with it. Until her roommate shows up and recognizes her. Astoundingly, this works.
Do you know her?
Yeah, she's my roommate.
And what do you know it, this roommate also happens to be diabetic and gets kidnapped by the ambulance. So Eric Roberts goes to the police to report the crime. And James Earl Jones is the detective that he goes to, and he is far and away the best part of this movie. James Earl Jones is so angry over everything in this movie, and he's quite possibly a legitimately crazy person.
Why is it every time I have a cavity,
You know it before I do.
I don't know what you're talking about. Your car insurance payment is due today.
Get the hell out of my office!
He is so over the top, and it's amazing. He's angry at everything for no particular reason. There are so many lines that you could take from James Earl Jones' character, and they are hilarious.
I used to love the old joke books years ago, especially the classic comics. They got me through high school. But the stuff today, just too bizarre, too weird. Like it's geared for kids who are whacked out of their fucking minds. Comic books scare me nowadays.
He's not in the movie as much as you would think, considering that he is on the cover, but you will remember his performance after watching this movie. In particular, his last scene is amazing. He's gotten by the ambulance, and he takes chewing the scenery quite literally. This is kind of everyone is annoyed at each other, the movie. Especially when it pertains to things that are their chosen profession. Like the police are like, I hate it when people come to me with these damn crimes. Why are they reporting crimes to me? The nurse is like, why did you have to bring sick people here? I hate taking care of sick people. I can't believe you're coming here being sick.
Look, a woman was kidnapped tonight, officer, okay?
A woman kidnapped?
I bet you have a delicate touch.
Two of you shut up and go back to sleep. I'm going to put a pillow over your face. I'll put a pillow over your face.
And there's no real reason why anyone has to be this annoyed with everything, except maybe just Eric Roberts is that annoying to them.
Ever shoot anybody?
No, but I'm always hopeful.
Eric Roberts, in particular, in this movie, gives a fantastic performance, which is half fueled by his hair and half by alcoholism.
Nice guys.
Hey guys, you know what's in that ambulance?
Drugs.
Hey, Robbie Powers! Your girlfriend wants you. I mean, fucking.
I need some sleep.
I haven't really read any behind-the-scenes stuff about this movie, but Eric Roberts was drinking very heavily, and you can tell. Which works out for most of it, because through half the movie, he is just fucked up or drugged out or half-conscious, so it kind of fits for what's going on. So after Eric Roberts has started investigating the evil ambulance, they realize that he is onto them, and so they've got to take him out. So as he's sitting in his studio, in his tiny tank top, he realizes that he has drunk, warning, milk! Which leads to a fantastically nutso performance.
They're gonna kill me! They're gonna kill me!
He's taken to the hospital and he meets curmudgeonly old man, who is the second best character in the film next to James Earl Jones. He's got everything. Old people swearing jokes, fart jokes, piss jokes.
Goddamn Cajun food.
Curmudgeonly old man is a reporter who wants to get the scoop on this evil ambulance thing, or possibly have Eric Roberts turn out to be a serial killer. He's not picky, he just wants one or the other. Eric Roberts and curmudgeonly old man have to escape from the hospital because the ambulance guys are coming after them. And so they have to escape in disguise together.
Oh, Dad, we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. We knew it was coming, Dad.
Yeah, but why did you have to go before me?
Oh, come on, come on. We have to go.
41 years she cooked for me, she cleaned for me, she made love to me. I should have married her.
That's enough. Here, come on.
Old man gets captured by the ambulance. And so Eric Roberts has got to team up with Lady Cop Friend to try and figure out where this ambulance has gone and where these people are being taken. Eric Roberts goes to the dump, where you can't hear any of the dialogue. And he's got some pictures of the ambulance, and he's got some evidence that they have bought parts for an old ambulance like that may lead to where they're actually located. And of course he gets mugged. and the ambulance snatches him. So he's got to get out of the ambulance, and there is a great scene where he's got to kick himself out and goes flying down the street. After he escapes from them, he ends up coming across some police officers who also were annoyed at him.
Hey, didn't anybody call Lieutenant Spencer's office?
How come you're always asking the question?
And just want him to identify this unrelated killer and these other slangs. They're not really interested in what he's reporting. They're just convinced that he can help them catch this other guy. And one of the other police officers is constantly mistaken for Jughead. This is a running joke through the film, but he looks nothing like Jughead. So it's just nonsense.
There's a cop over in the homicide division. Looks like Jughead.
You look exactly like Jughead.
Shut the fuck up.
Eric Roberts finally gets them to listen to him by just saying that the paramedics were the killers in that case, so they gotta go investigate. And apparently they're all on board after that. The ambulance is an old antique ambulance with spooky green lighting in it, for no particular reason other than it's evil. And this whole operation is being run by this Timothy Dalton, Tom Selleck-looking German guy.
I'm sorry, but I just like to touch human skin through a surgical glove, that's all.
Who is taking diabetics and experimenting on them and then selling them to other people who perform experiments on human beings. And he has taken this ambulance and apparently just put it into a nightclub for cover? I don't know how this nightclub is a good place to cover up his human experimentation. I don't know how they got the ambulance out of there without people noticing half the time, but they did. So once they get to this nightclub where Lady Cop is investigating, everything kind of goes downhill very quickly, and apparently evil Timothy Dalton mustache guy was just waiting in the ambulance for that moment. Like he was just sitting in the ambulance, waiting to drive someone over. And for such a discreet operation, he's really not good at keeping himself secret. He kind of blew it really quickly. I don't think he's going to get very far in this business venture. So he takes off, and Eric Roberts and Lady Cop and all the other cops end up finding the secret lab, hospital, whatever, and getting to the woman that Eric Roberts was chasing down this whole time, the woman of his dreams, and it turns out that she has a boyfriend. And that's why, you probably should get to know someone a little bit better. I can't feel too bad for Eric Roberts since he was kind of a creepy asshole to her the whole time. So Eric Roberts and Cop Lady are like, well, let's just get together. I'll settle for you, you're second best. And they get a limousine for some reason. They just decide to call a limousine from the crime scene. And they think everything's fine. But it's not. That's when things go crazy and you get to see what you want to see the whole time, which is Eric Roberts being run down by an evil ambulance. And this ambulance is bulletproof for some reason that is never explained, but it's not fist-proof. Crazy doctor guy is chasing him down and ends up just killing himself. He was not the brightest. And then they take Eric Roberts away in an ambulance.
Oh, God.
There are a lot of legendary performances in this. The film did not do very well in the States, actually, but it did well in France, I've heard. Because why wouldn't it? There's lots of great action pieces in this, lots of quotable dialogue, mesmerizing performance by Eric Roberts, James Earl Jones, Red Buttons. There's lots of great stuff in it, and it's really not as bad as the plot seems. When you hear that it's a movie that is about an evil ambulance, you think like, oh, maybe it's an evil sentient ambulance, but it's really not. It was a delightful surprise because I was not expecting the movie to be as good as it was. I can't even really say that this is a so bad it's good movie, though there are certainly parts in it that venture into that territory, definitely. But I would actually say that it's just a good comedy.
We got an ambulance coming.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
So you should check out The Ambulance. It's a fun ride. If you're an Eric Roberts fan, it does not disappoint. Yeah, check it out.
And then we'll vacate this morgue forever.
Cool. What am I gonna do about clothes?
Oh,
Yeah.
all right, that's no problem. I'll go shopping.
Shopping?
Yeah, the guy across the hall checked in a nice suit. I think it was a 38 long. Be a perfect fit for you.
It's my size.